GK Kids.
The Old Woman's Magical Spoon. Once upon a time, in a distant village, there lived an elderly woman. The villagers affectionately called her Buddhya, Old Woman. No one remembered her real name, but stories of her kindness were famous everywhere. She was very poor, with no money, land, or children. Her world revolved around her small mud house, a broken bed, and a magical spoon. The spoon she possessed was no ordinary spoon. It held a wondrous magic. Whenever Buddhya used this spoon to cook, the food never ran out. She was the only one who knew this secret. Everyone in the village respected Buddhya greatly. Every day, she cooked food in her hut and fed anyone hungry who came to her door. From children to elders, everyone loved the food she prepared. The little crops and vegetables she had were gifted by the villagers. But what amazed everyone was how she managed to prepare ample food for everyone from such limited resources. Gradually, rumors spread among the villagers that Buddhya had a magical spoon. Some dismissed it as mere gossip, while others saw it as a blessing from God. No one dared to ask her directly, as her kindness and generosity were cherished by all. One day, a wealthy merchant arrived in the village. This merchant sold goods in villages to make a profit. He noticed that Buddhya, who appeared poor and humble, fed the village children and the needy every day. Puzzled, he thought, how does this old woman, who has no money, feed so many people daily? The merchant decided to meet Buddhya and asked, Mother, you are old and poor, yet you have the strength to feed so many people daily. How is that possible? Buddhya smiled and said, it is all God's blessing that helps to fill the stomachs of the poor and the hungry. But the merchant's eyes were fixed on the magical spoon she was using to serve food. He thought, this must be a magical spoon. If I get hold of this spoon, I can use it for my business and become rich overnight. The merchant tried to buy the spoon from Buddhya, offering her a large sum of money. But Buddhya refused outright. She said, this spoon is meant only for good deeds and is priceless to me. Selling it is out of the question. The merchant grew angry and resolved to acquire the spoon by any means necessary. The merchant devised a plan and waited for nightfall. When everyone was asleep, he sneaked into Buddhya's home and stole the magical spoon. He thought he could use it for his business and grow wealthy. The next morning, the merchant took the spoon to his kitchen to cook food. He imagined that this spoon would help him prepare a large quantity of food, which he could sell for a hefty profit. But as he tried to use the spoon, nothing magical happened. The spoon behaved just like an ordinary spoon. He tried again and again, but nothing worked. Frustrated, he finally realized that the spoon's magic worked only because of Buddhya's good intentions. A few days later, a severe drought struck the village. Crops withered, rivers dried up, and people began to starve. Desperate, the villagers turned to Buddhya for help. Buddhya used her magical spoon and began cooking food. She worked tirelessly, preparing enough food so that no one went hungry. The villagers showered her with blessings for her selfless service. The merchant, witnessing this, understood that Buddhya's spoon indeed had power, but its magic worked only for goodness and compassion. The merchant realized his mistake and decided to seek Buddhya's forgiveness. He went to her and apologized for his greed. Buddhya forgave him and said, this spoon's magic is not for the rich or the poor. It works only for those with a pure heart who use it to help others. Time passed, and one day Buddhya felt her end was near. She called the villagers to her side and said, I am leaving this world, but I leave this spoon to the village. Remember, use it only for good deeds, never for selfish gain. The villagers took her words to heart. After Buddha's passing, they took care of the spoon together. Whenever someone was hungry or a disaster struck, the villagers would use the spoon to help everyone. Buddha's spoon became a symbol of inspiration for the village. People say that the spoon still exists in the village and works only for those with a true and noble heart. Buddha's story became a guiding light, reminding them that real strength lies in kindness and honesty. Moral: this story teaches us that true strength lies in goodness and service. If our hearts are pure and our intentions true, no task in the world is impossible. Buddha's magical spoon continually taught the villagers that real wealth is in helping others, not in hoarding for oneself.